To preserve your energy, don't settle for mediocrity. To truly comprehend your potential, you must walk on your own path. The status of Boulevard of the Reserved, a place where you don't have to tell yourself lies. Perplexing, inconvenient, and unusual. Well, you step into odd agenda, and let me explain. There are two evaluations I knew I had to come in terms with. The physical aspect and the mental aspect. Let's start off with the physical aspect. Health was an important factor in my life. Coke, Ultimate Cheeseburger, Sourdough Jack, Reese's, M&M, peanut butter, frozen cups. The picture you are seeing is the professional way. I believe I did it before it was a thing. I used to cut the Reese's peanut butter cups in fours and put one M&M in each slice bag, and I froze it, and voila, that was it. That was like my regular nourishment. It would soon come a day your boy would have to care about his health. I say the body is an interesting alarm clock or a guidebook that are moments we are blinded by the BS. We don't see these things like what we consume isn't really good for us. Sleep paralysis, a temporary inability to move or speak while falling asleep or upon waking. That shit was awful, man. Like, I know people, they would say like they'll see like demons or strange figures holding them down, which I can vouch for because that shit was just wild. But I felt like if I took my health more seriously, that wouldn't be an issue anymore. So I started watching YouTube videos about exercising, and I came across P90X. And the whole point, I like that name because my favorite gun was the P90 in Modern Warfare 2. Anyway, that's nothing to do with it, but they just had the same name. Anyway, I was looking at these people transformation, and I'm like, god damn, like if they could become fit, I could do it too. Because they had like the 90 day, 30, the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, and you see their transformation, you're like, wow. So I was begging my parents to buy the program for me, but even I was shocked by the price. Like, I was like, damn, I was like 120 or some wild shit. I'm like, damn, like, shit. And you're supposed to do, I know it's like intense exercise you do at home, but I'm like, you know what? I'll just jog outside. Like, it's free. I could just do that. It was just simple. So eventually, to run, I used to start running in like the morning. It was around summertime. The sun was just hitting a nigga. Like, god damn, roasting me up. And at the beginning, cause I didn't really notice, but my brother and sister and shit like that, like, yeah, you get a doctor and shit. Okay. So eventually, at the morning, I'll just do it at the night, and the night was nice too. Just that it just be funky sometimes when it's like a Halloween, and those kids fucking doing their trick or treat and shit, and you jogging outside. like nigga, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what the fuck you doing? So eventually, I came across to just, let me just jog in the morning, and that is much better. And like at the time, it was chore, cause first I wasn't really into it, but I just wanted to lose weight, so I was like, fuck it. But eventually it became euphoria for me. It just, man, like that one day when I was jogging, man, like around summertime, it was like 7:50 a.m. The sun was out, but fortunately the clouds were blocking it. It was like those rare occasions when it's not too hot, not too cold, just bit windy. And I don't know what came over me, but it was like ecstasy, man. Like, I mean, that's what I feel like when people on drugs or something like that. Like, that shit felt great. Like, I was just looking at the leaves and shit. It was just swaying you, and you could hear the sound effects and shit. I was like, whoa. Like, it was just crazy, and like right now you're seeing, like, this is from my journal. It was just because it was the time I was documented. It just felt wild. But sometimes I'll have those days, but you rarely get them. But sometimes. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I felt like I was a hippie. Like, sometimes, I feel like I'm a hippie because, like, when them talking about trees and shit and whatever, but not smoking and shit, but just I don't know. It just felt really like nice, and that's like I guess you could say the introduction to the mental aspect. But but this is a little bit still about the physical aspect. Is when I was looking for healthy alternatives for what to eat, I found out the things in school, government, and profound statistics are kind of funky, and I started to be more skeptical. I started reading, the nutritional label, and sometimes, the nutritional label, they don't even tell you like what it fully contains. They may tell you, oh, it's like 4 chips, or a half a can, or one, or a half a cup, or 1/4 a cup. And, I'm like, nigga, just tell me the whole goddamn thing. Like just be honest. But when you look at the ingredients, and talk about the high fructose corn syrup and shit, like some of these things are those big ass words. They like, what the fuck? Like that's some shit you probably see. And so what the fuck's periodic table. Yeah, that's what shit you probably see in the periodic table with some of them terms you be seeing. But most of us like, I don't know what the fuck that shit means. And you look that shit up, you're like, wow, like this is fucking ridiculous. And you look at the sodium level, the sugar level, and all that stuff. It just it just became wild. But I became more vivid and understand of like, or at least health. But now let's tackle the mind. It can be hard to notice or accept your bad habits because it could be accepted, but taboo to speak about it. Yes, I'm talking about porn / masturbation. The masturbation not really a big thing. I'm just gonna say more porn. But a lot of people, consume it, but they don't talk about it. And it's hard to recognize, at least for me, it was hard to recognize it was a bad thing. But you hear a lot of people talk about it, oh, it's good and all that stuff. It clears your mind. But once I heard about NoFap and I tried it, like at least for me, I feel much better. Just that, like, obviously, you ain't doing nothing. So you gotta learn how to use your time wisely and be more productive. But personally, to me, I prefer that. And also on YouTube, I would watch numerous videos about it. And one of them was the Infinite Marauders Running Deep. And he would talk about porn and he talked about how he completed a whole year of NoFap. And I was like, this nigga ain't human. Because like I think I was like 15, 16. And I was like, yo, like this nigga is not human. But like now I'm like, yeah, it's possible. Not that I reached to that level, but because at the time I didn't have a good understanding. But back to Infinite Wilds Running Deep. Like I like the stuff that he was talking about. Just that at that time when I was younger, he would like talk about like, you shouldn't do this or whatever. But end of the day, it's a choice. So it's like he would tell you, at least he would try to be objective as possible, but also like, I mean, I don't know. It'll just, the way I process it, it'll just funky.